This video isn't going to have some fancy edit. It's meant to be listened to, absorbed, and then you go live your life. Throw it on while you're commuting, gaming, or doing literally anything that doesn't require more than 2 brain cells. The point here is to hand you information, not win an award for cinematography. Stick around till the end, and if you want, subscribe. Now stop whining. The world doesn't owe you anything. Some people wake up every single day acting like the universe owes them a personal apology for everything that's ever gone wrong in their life. Coffee got cold, cursed fate, boss was rude, bad karma. Someone cut you off in traffic. Clearly the universe is out to get you. But let me let you in on a secret. This is the part where the Stoics start laughing while everyone else loses their mind. The world does not care about you. Not even a little bit. And guess what? That's actually freeing. Stoicism starts with one blunt, dry, no sugar-added truth. Life is wild, chaotic, unfair, and completely random. There's no instruction manual, no YouTube tutorial, no morning routine productivity course that's going to change that. The Stoics knew this over 2,000 years ago. While everybody else was busy trying to control the uncontrollable, they were busy mastering the one thing that actually is controllable: themselves. Seneca, basically the original gangster of Stoicism, put it bluntly: it's not because things are hard that we don't dare, it's because we don't dare that things are hard. Translated into plain modern speech, stop feeling sorry for yourself. The problem was never the world, it's how you react to it. What were you expecting, life to play out like a feel-good commercial? The real breakthrough here is dropping the act of playing the cosmic victim in some poorly written script. Stoicism doesn't sugarcoat it. Nobody promised you things would be easy. Nobody owes you a happy ending. Bad stuff is going to keep happening, back to back, with zero warning, and that's completely fine. Living at peace doesn't mean building yourself a bubble of toxic positivity where nothing can touch you. It means standing in the middle of chaos, staring the storm dead in the eye, and saying, "Okay, let's do this," knowing full well that losing a job, getting betrayed, failing hard, face-planting in public, these are just part of the basic package that comes with being human. It's not bad luck, it's just Tuesday. Accepting that isn't giving up, it's setting yourself free. Because as long as you're clinging to the illusion that the world has to bend to fit your expectations, you're going to spend your whole life frustrated, anxious, and angry at everything. But the moment you accept that the world is going to keep being exactly what it is, unpredictable, unfair, and often flat-out ridiculous, you stop fighting against it and start fighting for yourself instead. So yes, the world's still going to knock you around. It's going to spit in your face every once in a while. But everything changes the moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I actually do with this right now?" Here's Stoicism in one sentence. Wake up. Nobody's coming to save you, and that's a good thing. You don't even control traffic, so what makes you think you control your life? Ever try to control traffic just by sheer willpower? Sitting there in your car, huffing and cursing out the driver in front of you, down to his 5th generation of ancestors, somehow convinced that if you glare hard enough, he'll speed up. Spoiler, he didn't speed up, and all you walked away with was a free stress ulcer. Welcome to Stoic rule number 2. Learn the difference between what's actually within your control and what isn't. Sounds simple. It's exactly where 90% of human meltdowns start. People spend their whole lives desperately trying to manipulate things they have zero power over. The weather, other people's opinions, the timing of things, whether a social media algorithm decides to boost their post, and then they wonder why they're anxious, exhausted, and drowning their frustration in junk food and cheap wine. Epictetus, a Stoic who had zero patience for other people's drama, said it plainly: "Some things are within our control, and others are not. Full stop." No footnotes, no exceptions, no fine print. And what exactly is within your control? Not much. Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, everything else. Tough luck, accept it and move on. Now here comes the crowd that says, but I like planning ahead. Fine, plan away. Just don't tie your identity to that plan like it's a winning lottery ticket. You could plan a year-long trip and have your flight get cancelled because a llama wandered onto the runway somewhere in South America. Life doesn't answer to your plans. It does whatever it wants, not whatever you'd prefer. A true Stoic is a master of adaptation. They don't spiral the moment reality veers off script. They simply rewrite the script. Because they know that fighting over things you can't change is like headbutting a wall, hoping the wall feels pain. Spoiler, you're the one walking away with the bruise. So here's your Stoic homework. Next time something goes wrong, and it will, take a breath and ask yourself one question. Does this depend on me? If yes, roll up your sleeves and get to work. If no, let it go and keep moving. You don't control the line at the bank, but you control your patience. You don't control what someone said about you, but you control whether or how you respond. You don't control the storm, but you control whether you're the one standing outside complaining about getting wet. That peace everyone's chasing, real Stoic peace, doesn't come from the world rearranging itself around your ego. It comes from you giving up the fight against reality and instead working with whatever it hands you. Acceptance isn't surrender, it's strategy. And once you know exactly where your power starts and where it ends, you become a genuinely dangerous kind of person, in the best sense, because while everyone else is trying to change the direction of the wind, you're the one adjusting your sails. Now let's talk about problems versus soap operas. Let's be honest, some people don't live, they perform. Every single day is a brand new episode of Life is So Unfair, starring them, complete with an overblown drama and a sad little soundtrack playing in the background of their own head. Here's a Stoic spoiler alert. Not everything is a problem. Sometimes you're just putting on a show. Stoicism has a deep, visceral distaste for exaggerated victimhood, and for good reason. There's a real difference between losing someone you love, facing an illness, going through unemployment, and turning a slow Wi-Fi connection or a comment on social media into a full-blown existential crisis. Seriously, some people act like they've been stabbed in the back because the waiter forgot the sauce. Remember the Stoic mantra, it's not events that disturb us, but the meaning we assign to them. That comes from Epictetus, basically the Zen master with a short fuse. What he was getting at is this: the world happens, and you get to decide whether you deal with it like an adult or turn it into a 40-minute monologue for the invisible audience inside your own head. Say someone turns you down. Reality just handed you a no. One way to respond is to write the soap opera version. I'm worthless. Nobody will ever love me. I'm destined to die alone. Slow down there, drama queen. Sometimes the other person just wasn't interested. It happens. It stings, it's annoying, but it is not the end of the world. It's just another Tuesday. Stoicism trains you to cut out that useless emotional noise and get straight to the point. Is this an actual problem or just a discomfort? Because there's a massive gap between suffering and choosing to suffer. The first one is simply human. The second one is a choice. This doesn't mean turning into some cold, unfeeling rock. It means you stop handing out gold medals to feelings that only needed a deep breath and a glass of water. Being Stoic isn't about not feeling things. It's about feeling things responsibly, refusing to let one frustration snowball into a tidal wave that wrecks your entire day. Here's a practical example. Your boss gives you tough feedback. The dramatic reaction, he hates me, I'm getting fired, I'm a total failure. The Stoic reaction, okay, that stung. What can I actually learn from this? Is there something real here I can improve? Or is this just his opinion I can set aside? See the difference? The dramatic mind loves a good meltdown because it gives chaos a sense of meaning. The Stoic mind looks at that same chaos and asks, will this matter in 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years? If the answer is no, why on earth are you making it the main plotline of your entire existence? Bottom line, life is hard enough on its own. It doesn't need your help making things worse. When in doubt, less interpretation, more action. Less soap opera, more stoicism. Peace of mind doesn't come with free shipping. Some people treat inner peace like a luxury item, like all you need to do is pay off your bills, book a trip somewhere tropical, queue up a relaxing playlist, and boom, you're a Zen master on autopilot. If it were that simple, you could just put it on a payment plan and call it done. But peace of mind doesn't arrive in a package with a tracking number. It comes from somewhere far less glamorous, taking full responsibility for yourself and getting comfortable with discomfort. Stoicism isn't built on illusions. There's no magic mantra, no crystal, no secret formula. What it hands you instead is a gut check and a mirror. Because here's the truth. If you're waiting for the world to become perfect before you allow yourself to feel calm, you are going to die stressed out. The Stoics understood that peace of mind isn't the absence of problems, it's the absence of internal chaos in the face of those problems. And that, my friend, is something you only earn through practice. A lot of practice. Think of it like mental weightlifting. Just like nobody gets a six-pack from watching gym videos on their phone, you're not going to reach real calm just by reading motivational quotes online. Peace of mind shows up when you stop reacting like a startled animal to every little thing that happens. When someone throws a jab your way and you don't throw one back. When your plans fall apart and you don't spiral. When life takes a swing and lands one right in the chest and you respond with, okay, noted, now what? That kind of peace doesn't come from what's happening outside you. It comes from what you've trained on the inside. It comes from knowing exactly who you are, what you can control, what you're willing to tolerate, and just as important, from accepting that the world is never going to cooperate with your peace on its own. So the smartest move you can make is to stop depending on it too. Picture this. You could live somewhere dead quiet, incense burning, nature sounds playing softly in the background, and if your mind is a mess, even the sound of a bird chirping is going to drive you up the wall. On the flip side, you could be stuck in traffic with horns blaring all around you and still keep your focus, your breathing, and your calm, if you know what actually matters and what's just noise. That's what Stoic peace of mind really is. Quiet on the inside, even when it's chaos on the outside. It's not about ignoring the world. It's about refusing to let the world enslave you. And here's maybe the most honest thing you'll hear all day. The peace you're chasing is never going to come from outside, because it was never out there to begin with. It starts the moment you stop hunting for someone to blame, stop romanticizing your own suffering, and start living like an emotionally responsible adult, clear-headed, and above all, free. Now let's talk about anger, because that one's yours to carry, but you're always the one who pays for it. Anger is the kind of feeling that shows up like a rocket and leaves behind a trail of wreckage, and more often than not, an emotional bill with your name on it. Someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly you're cursing out their entire family tree. Your partner says something the wrong way and you're ready to start breaking plates, or at the very least, the mood. But in the end, who actually gets hurt? You. Always you. Stoicism looks at anger like poison you drink, hoping the other person dies. And honestly, all you're doing is speeding up your own decline through stress, guilt, and regret. Seneca, a philosopher who seemed to have lived through group chat drama long before group chats existed, wrote an entire essay on anger alone. Why? Because he understood something most people still haven't figured out. Anger might just be one of the dumbest emotions we're capable of feeling. It promises strength, but delivers impulsiveness. It promises justice, but delivers emotional revenge. It promises relief, but delivers regret with interest attached. And to be clear, this isn't about turning into some emotionless robot who smiles through everything. Nobody's telling you to swallow your feelings and pretend everything's fine. The real question is, what are you going to do with your anger? Are you going to let it grab the wheel, or are you going to strap it into the back seat with a seat belt on? Do Stoics get angry? Absolutely, but they don't act in the heat of it. They pause, they breathe, they think it through, because they know full well that any decision made in the middle of an emotional spiral has a very high chance of blowing up in their face. Ever written an angry email and never hit send? Congratulations, that's more stoic than it sounds. Here's an example. Your boss chews you out in front of the whole office. Every fiber in you wants to flip a table and quit on the spot. But the stoic part of you steps in and asks, does this depend on me? What do I actually gain by retaliating right now? How do I walk out of this with my dignity intact? So instead of becoming HR's next headache, you take a breath, respond calmly, and handle it strategically later. You didn't stop feeling anything, you just stopped being controlled by what you felt. The real stoic secret is this: you can be a furnace on the inside and completely composed on the outside. That's not fake. That's sharp emotional intelligence. It's understanding that the person who blows up first is usually the one who loses, and that being right doesn't mean winning, especially if you lose your composure in the process. Poorly managed anger is a terrible investment. You pay a steep price and get nothing back but a headache, and sometimes a lot worse. So next time you feel that heat rising, pause and ask yourself, like a stoic would, is this actually worth my peace? Or is this just my ego throwing a tantrum? Spoiler, it's almost always the ego, and the ego makes a terrible advisor. Now for the big one. Yes, you're going to die. So am I. So is everyone. Doesn't matter how many wellness smoothies you drink, how many meditation apps you download, or how many times a day you post about gratitude. Eventually, we all turn to dust, worm food or ashes scattered somewhere meaningful with sad music playing in the background. For most people, death is the ultimate taboo. Just thinking about it triggers that cold, existential chill and the automatic urge to change the subject. But for the Stoics, death wasn't something to fear. It was a daily reminder of how to actually live. They called it Memento Mori, Latin for remember that you will die. Sounds morbid, but only if you're still treating death like the villain. The Stoics saw it as a teacher. In the Stoic view, death is the ultimate cure for procrastination, arrogance, and pettiness. Because once you genuinely accept that your time here is limited, you stop wasting it on pointless arguments, bruised pride, and grand plans for some perfect future that might never even arrive. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, literally ran the Roman Empire and still found time to write about how to be a decent human being. He wrote in his journal, essentially, that you could leave this life right now, and that thought alone should shape everything you think, say, and do. In other words, if today were your last day, is this really how you'd choose to spend it? Scrolling through your feed, arguing over text. Stoicism isn't telling you to live like tomorrow's the apocalypse. It's forcing you to look in the mirror and ask, am I living with intention, or am I just surviving on autopilot? Are you putting your life on hold, waiting for the right moment? Spoiler alert, there is no right moment. There's only now, and this could be your last one. That single shift changes everything: how you work, how you love, how you forgive, how you respond to people, because death, instead of being a threat, becomes your compass. It reminds you to actually value your time, your relationships, and even your problems, because those are part of living too. And as long as you're still breathing, you're still in the game. So yes, you're going to die, and that's actually a good thing, because until that day comes, you get the chance to live like someone who knows they're just passing through. More action, less stalling. More presence, less empty promises. More truth, less nonsense. remember death, and go live your life with real courage. Now let's talk about not being a reactive punching bag for your own emotions. You've met that person who always seems one comment away from exploding, right? Everything sets them off. Everything's a trigger, like they're constantly on the edge of a meltdown just because the world refused to follow their script. This is where the sharpest piece of Stoic advice comes in. Stop being a reactive lump of nerves. Yeah, I know, it's tempting not to be. Your phone buzzes and you fire back a reply without thinking. Someone pokes at you and you snap back instantly. A situation doesn't go your way, and suddenly it's a full-blown internal crisis. In that moment, you become a puppet on strings, and those strings are your own unchecked emotions. The result? You're not living, you're just reacting 24/7, like a fire alarm that goes off at the tiniest spark. The Stoics were masters of self-control, but not the rigid, bottled-up kind where you just suppress everything. They understood that being human means feeling things, but feeling something doesn't mean you're obligated to obey it. You're allowed to be angry, sad, or frustrated. You just don't have to act like a cornered animal every single time it happens. The real difference between a Stoic and someone who's simply reactive is this. The Stoic thinks before responding. They insert a pause between the stimulus and the reaction. And that little gap? That's exactly where freedom lives. That's the space where you get to choose whether you follow your wounded ego's autopilot, or whether you pick something smarter, more useful, more worthy of someone who's supposedly grown past their emotional teenage years. And don't confuse this with passivity. Being Stoic isn't turning into some spineless pushover. It's actually the opposite. It's having enough clarity to choose your battles, your responses, and your posture deliberately. It's having real command over yourself, especially when the world is trying to drag you into chaos by the collar. Want to see it in action? Someone criticizes you. You can lash back, start a scene, feed the drama. Or you can breathe, consider whether the criticism actually holds any truth, and respond based on reason instead of impulse. Which one sounds stronger? Which one sounds more mature? Exactly. Being reactive is easy. It takes zero effort. Any random person with a phone and an opinion can manage that. What's actually hard is staying strategically calm in a world that rewards outbursts. What's hard is holding steady when every part of you wants to blow up. And that, right there, is where real power lives. The Stoics had a word for this, ataraxia, an unshakable state of mind that doesn't get tossed around by every emotional wave like a paper boat. It's not that the ocean goes still, it's that you learn how to navigate it. So next time you feel your blood starting to boil, remember, you are not required to react. You get to choose how you respond. And in the end, that's the exact line that separates emotional adults from the inner toddlers who just want to scream. Finally, this isn't about being happy, it's about being whole. Here's one of the biggest traps of this entire generation: the pressure to be happy all the time. Happiness got turned into a product with an expiration date, a life goal forced down everyone's throat. Chase your dreams. Do what you love. Think positive. And if none of that actually works for you, well, that's on you, apparently. You didn't try hard enough, you didn't meditate correctly, you didn't read the right books, you just didn't put in enough effort to be as happy as everyone else's carefully curated feed. The Stoics couldn't have cared less about that pressure. They weren't chasing happiness. Their focus was somewhere else entirely, being whole, staying consistent with their values, being at peace with who they are, even when everything around them or inside them is falling apart. For the Stoics, happiness wasn't the goal, it was a byproduct. It showed up occasionally, almost like a bonus. What actually mattered was living well in the rawest, most honest sense of that phrase, with clarity, courage, and consistency. Not like some character performing their best life for an audience, but like someone who does what needs to be done, no matter who's watching or if anyone's watching at all. A Stoic life isn't a highlight reel, it's real. Sometimes it hurts, Sometimes it's confusing, sometimes none of it makes sense. And even so, you keep going. You show up, you get to know yourself better, you fail with more dignity, you succeed with less ego. You trade the frantic chase for happiness for something sturdier, character, virtue, presence. And that, honestly, is what lets you sleep at night with a clear conscience. And in the end, that clear conscience is real happiness. Here's what that looks like in practice. Maybe your job isn't your dream career, but you do it well. You treat people with respect, you pay your bills, and you still carve out time to take care of your mind and your body. You're not jumping for joy every single day, but you're at peace with your own integrity. That's worth 1,000 times more than a forced smile or some recycled motivational quote copied off someone's professional networking profile. The real Stoic insight is this: you can be not happy right now and still be exactly on track. You can be tired, sad, frustrated, and still be living well. Life isn't an amusement park. It's a training ground, and you don't need to be smiling around the clock to know you're becoming a better version of yourself. So drop the frantic hunt for happiness. Aim instead to become someone who doesn't sell out, doesn't lose themselves, and stays standing even when everything gets hard. Because once you're whole, happiness stops being something you chase. It just shows up now and then quietly in the background. And that right there, that's what it actually looks like to live like a Stoic.